Sophie Cunningham is going viral right now for a TikTok video she made.
Sophie Cunningham gets fined $500 by Kathy Englebrain
for making this slick TikTok.
$500 is absolutely hilarious.
The WNBA has once again pushed things too far.
Sophie Cunningham actually posted this herself, stating, "I got fined $500.
This time, it wasn't about a missed foul or a technical handed out for a player reacting after being pushed. No, this was something else. Sophie Cunningham, one of the few players bold enough to speak honestly, was fined $500 simply for saying what fans have been shouting all season. The officiating in this league is completely falling apart. She just voiced the truth everyone already sees.
And they're responding to this video because she's calling out WNBA officiating, WNBA refs.
I posted the video 6 days ago, which shows her lip-syncing lyrics from Sabrina Carpenter's song Man-Child. The caption to the video is, "At some refs."
Stupid. Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless.
Yesterday, Cunningham reposted the video on X with a caption about the fine.
Even more troubling, Sophie wasn't just speaking up for herself. She was standing in defense of Caitlin Clark, arguably the most targeted player in the WNBA. If you're someone who believes Caitlin deserves fair treatment, someone who sees through the silence and the media's spin, then show your support for Sophie in the comments. This kind of injustice can't be allowed to continue.
Cunningham criticized some refs by describing them as stupid, slow, and useless. Damn!
Sophie Cunningham didn't stay silent. She took an elbow to the face during a game and the referee just stood there, watching it unfold without calling a foul, without blowing the whistle, without even reacting. It was as if getting hit in the head has become a normal part of the WNBA. The message was clear. Players can take physical hits on the court, and the officials will simply let it slide.
I don't remember what happened in this game. In the Sun game, right before this, she got chucked out of bounds and the referee just stared and watched. And then she got elbowed in the face 2 possessions later and the referees just watched.
Sophie got hit in the back of the head with the elbow, right? Ref looking right at it, didn't do a thing, didn't say a thing, was shaking her head like, nah, you flopped. That is crazy.
And rather than addressing the issue, the league chose to fine Sophie for simply sharing a video of what happened. That's right, she spoke up about her own experience, and the WNBA punished her for it.
At some refs, stupid, slow, useless. Oh my goodness, man.
Following play, Sophie Cunningham breathes on a player, gets called for a foul. Referees were definitely not doing Sophie any favors that game and purposely ignoring, dare I say, flagrant fouls. Elbowing somebody in their shoulder, elbowing somebody in their neck, face area, yeah, that's a flagrant foul. There's no other way to slice it.
But this wasn't just about a TikTok video. It was a warning, a clear message to any player brave enough to speak out, especially those who dare to stand up for Caitlin Clark, who has endured hits, cheap shots, and elbows all season long while the officials continue to look the other way. Good.
Got fined $500 for this TikTok. I don't know why this is funny to me. Like, okay, you got it, bud, because there's not more important things to be worried about with our league right now.
Sophie's message hit home not just because it was honest, but because it echoed what so many Indiana Fever players have been feeling all season. Physical play, targeted fouls, and a complete lack of protection from the referees. Her fine wasn't just a punishment, it was a warning. The league's message was clear: stay quiet or you'll be next.
Caitlin Clark, and you can tell she's talking about being mentally beat down. We also know she's physically beat down. Why does this keep happening? And look, it's not just the Fever, it's not just Caitlin. There's a bunch of players across the leagues that's been speaking out against this.
But let's give Sophie the credit she deserves. This wasn't just frustration, it was leadership, it was honesty, the kind of raw truth that fans respect and teammates value. And while the WNBA chose to penalize her, the fans rallied behind her without hesitation.
Am I shocked that an activist basketball league decided to target Sophie Cunningham? No, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, this whole league's got all of its priorities all bleeped up, especially from social media, this and that and the other, but that's not the point. She should not be getting fined for this.
From every corner, players, journalists, fans, even former WNBA stars, everyone who's been paying attention saw it for what it was. That's why Sophie became more than just a player who got fined. She became a symbol of everything that's broken under the WNBA's current leadership.
It doesn't seem that Cunningham will receive another fine from the WNBA for her posts and her continued criticism of the league.
Stacey Dales, who covers the NFL, has been on NFL Network forever She's laughing her ass off about this.
Her fine was just the latest example in a long, growing list of how the league responds to criticism. The pattern is clear. Players who speak up for Caitlin Clark or call out unfair treatment are quickly silenced. But those who target her, they're given a free pass. Protected, untouchable?
Sophie gets fined for TikTok, but players can bulldoze Caitlin almost every game with no response from the league.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark has taken more cheap shots than any player in recent memory. She's been elbowed, knocked down, tripped, and even shoved into scorers' tables. And yet, she gets fewer foul calls than anyone else on the court. It's reached a point where fans hold their breath every time she drives to the basket, not to see if she score, but to see if she get hit. Again,
Obviously, I did a video last night about Caitlin Clark, and you can tell she's talking about being mentally beat down. We also know she's physically beat down.
this isn't just unfair, it's dangerous. And the league's silence on the matter is beyond frustrating.
When Caitlin Clark returns, she's not getting abused and the referees are keeping their mouth shut. It's going to take somebody on the team to consistently speak out because we know damn sure the coach is too scared to get fined. Oh, you guys going to fine me again? This is the game that after pushing and shoving for a jump ball, she says 2 words to the referee. The referee says, "Oh, I'll remember that." Following play, Sophie Cunningham breathes on a player, gets called for a foul. Referees were definitely not doing Sophie any favors.
Consider this. After Sophie took an elbow to the face with no foul called, she made a brief remark to the referee. The official replied with a smug, "I'll remember that." Just minutes later, she was whistled for a questionable foul while simply defending. That's not fair officiating. That's retaliation. That's using the whistle as a weapon for personal payback.
Last year, after Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye, Dirty Dejanay Carrington, and Alyssa Smith got on IG and made us mocking Caitlin Clark.
This is the double standard fans are fed up with.
Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA.
The country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, breaking scoring records in college and bringing women's basketball to a whole new audience.
She is phenomenal.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is being mocked online after suffering an injury, following an in-game incident where she was poked in the eye. Some opponents and even one of her own teammates took to Instagram to make fun of it. The league's response: complete silence. No fines, no accountability, no leadership.
As long as Kathy Engelbert is going to play one of the 3 blind mice, they're going to keep doing it. As long as Adam Silver just ignores this crap.
All right, that is crazy work. They have to do better by these players. You have to protect these players, man. Protect your talent. It's as simple as that.
This is the double standard that fans are tired of seeing. Caitlin Clark is the biggest attraction the WNBA has ever seen. Her games bring in record-breaking viewership. Her presence drives ticket sales, merchandise, and sponsorships. She's not just a standout player, she's a financial powerhouse for the entire league. And yet, the league refuses to protect her. Worse, they punish those who try. That's what makes Sophie's fine so significant. She wasn't just challenging a missed call, she was exposing a broken system. In doing so, she uncovered a deeper truth. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and WNBA leadership seem less focused on protecting their stars and more concerned with controlling the narrative.
Sophie Cunningham is not the type who keeps her feelings to herself. The Indiana Fever star is quite outspoken, and she has no issue expressing her beliefs publicly, even if it gets her in trouble.
Sophie didn't stir up drama. She didn't confront anyone. All she did was share a video after being elbowed in the face, and for that, the league came down hard on her. At the same time, players are taking blatant cheap shots at Caitlin Clark with zero consequences. Fans aren't missing this. Even the casual audience can see the clear double standard. Sophie gets fined for a simple TikTok, while others can send Caitlin crashing to the floor, mock her publicly, and face no accountability. This isn't just inconsistent, it sends a message. And that message is loud and clear. Speak up, and you'll pay for it.
Instead, let's fine the players because they're speaking out loud. It would be different if the officiating was at least solid. I'd be like, yeah, you can't run your mouth about the referees. The officiating in this league blows chunks.
So, what do other players do? They stay quiet. Coaches stay silent. Everyone looks the other way because no one wants to be the next one hit with a fine or punished for speaking up. Sophie Cunningham is not the type who...
How did we get to an all-star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year, in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on. And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league besides Caitlin Clark. And Aaliyah Boston, she's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time, Caitlin Clark can be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls. But then when it's the Indiana Fever, guess what? Touch foul here, touch foul here. They call absolutely nothing.
A bunch of players and coaches over the last few days have complained without being fine-worthy about officiating. I just want to see about your thoughts on if officiating is an issue and how it can be improved. Because clearly there seems to be problems or disconnect between what players and coaches feel and what officials are actually calling.
I know as a fan of sports for 60 years now, I know that no one's ever happy with officiating. All sports deal with it, but we're working hard to make sure we're putting the best product out on the court, and our officiating then follows that.
They play against Breanna Stewart. She goes to the line 14 times. Asia Wilson goes to the line 13 times. And Aaliyah Boston can't play 20 minutes in a game without being on the bench in foul trouble. That's another problem that we're dealing with. But like I said, this year, it's not just Caitlin Clark. If you wear that Indiana Fever jersey, consider it done. The refs are not going to be fair, and they are going to cheat and do whatever it takes to do what the higher ups say.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of physicality that they're able to play with against her. I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach. And I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is what it is. And we've got to help her learn to adjust and use it against them in certain ways. We've got to find some ways to make it a little bit easier for her. But the level of physicality overall in our league has been at a different level than it's been for a long time.